what does the story say to you? I mean, no one really gives a shit about this kid Mo Khan or that moronic radio guy. But to me, it does say something about our society. And it may not even be the Jewish thing. It may just be the victimhood thing. I don't know. What do you guys think?
You can take it from like 2 or 3 angles. I think you nailed it when replace the word with another identity group and see what happens. F the N-word, F the Puerto Ricans, F the Irish. Like, it's a very easy way to test if this is appropriate free speech and language. It has nothing to do with free speech, obviously. And, this person spent thousands, or their group spent thousands of dollars on a bottle of tequila to impress girls. And this is like what they put on the sign. It's young people are dumb. This kid had such an easy out. Portnoy, who's incredibly entertaining, but also I think, he kind of nails some of these issues. He gave them the opportunity to go have make it a learning experience, right? And a teaching moment, I guess is what we call it these days. Like, he should have taken the teaching moment, gone to Auschwitz and understood, just how much horror and, how much bile is sent to Jewish people. And it's just absolutely gross. This guy, Stu Peters, is obviously garbage. He's an adult. These young kids do stupid things. But this is one of the great things about social media, I think, is that stupid people can uncloak themselves. And this is the great thing about freedom of speech. You have Kanye West, who's mentally ill. He's going off on Jewish people. You got this idiot. And they're not parsing the issue in an intelligent way and saying, hey, here's what I disagree about how Israel and the Palestinian conflict is going on. This is just anti-Semitism, and it's dangerous because young people really respected Kanye. And I think that started like this, anti-Semitic preference stack that's going on now. But hey, it's great. We can actually find out who these idiots are. And the disturbing thing is the, sort of bigotry as a service business model where you do something really stupid and then you get rewarded with $25K for it. I don't want to see the kid canceled. I would like to see him educated. But it's obvious.
I kind of want some cancellation.
Yeah.
I think this kid's not going to be educated until he suffers some pain. I just think he got the chance. He got a get out of jail for a stupid thing card offered to him. And he didn't take it, Chamath. He basically thumbed his middle finger at the offer saying, F you, I'm going to go on offense against you after I've already offended you, a Jewish man in America. And now, like so many of these young people, rushes to the place they're much more comfortable, which is, I'm the victim. This is about free speech. We hear this over and over. Free speech. No one said, you can say it. You can say it. There's no law against it. There's no law. You are allowed to be a bigot in the United States of America. But that doesn't mean there will be no shunning. There will be no societal consequences to you. People will be offended and react accordingly.
Yeah, I mean, what I think about this is this kid is, at a minimum, extremely stupid and probably a moron. Could he smarten up over time? Probably. But if he wasn't lying about being a journalist, he exposed himself when he decided to not go to Auschwitz, because that's what a journalist would do, is just actually go and explore the issue and get to the bottom of it and then change what he thought, or, at least double down on what he thought. But none of that's happening. So this is a cheap sort of publicity seeking moment for the kid. It's his 5 minutes of fame. This guy, Stu Peters, I've never heard of. It's pretty vile and despicable. Fortunately, he's at the fringes of society for a reason. He's not popular. Mm-hmm. He's not on Sirius. He's not you. He's not us. And I think that that's reflective of the fact that the people that follow Stu Peters is sort of like fringe and just more angry than anything else. The bigger thing is what you said, which is what is actually happening in young people. And I think what has happened is we have had a generation of kids who have been basically over-medicated, over-prescribed, over-parented by a cohort of people who have increasingly felt that they themselves are also over-prescribed, over-medicated. And all of this toxic soup has resulted in a generation of people that are deeply unresilient and that are very superficial, and they can't think through the consequences because they've never felt the pain of touching the stove. And now they're in their 20s and they're doing these things where they touch the stove over and over again in the dumbest of ways, but they're not learning anything. The question is, how many other Mo Khans are out there that'll see this thing and decide to educate themselves on the issue if they started to think that. At a minimum, exactly what you said, to know the difference between what it means to be Jewish versus what it means to be an Israeli citizen versus what it means to be the Israeli government and your responsibility as a governing body over a populace of people in a sovereign country. Versus what does it mean to be a Palestinian versus what does it to mean a Hamas terrorist? If none of that nuance is taught to people, or people have the curiosity to decide the ambiguity and the nuances of this, we're just going to be stuck in this morass. So that's what it shows me, is that we have a deeply unresilient population of young people.
Mm-hmm.
And they're being programmed, Megyn. You know, I have 3 daughters. One of them's a teenager. And, you know, when we had Trump on our program, or, you know, she saw me tweet about J.K. Rowling's and trans issues. And we moved from California, like woke central, to Texas. And we live on a horse ranch now because I wanted to get out of this sort of bubble of wokeness. And, you know, she was talking about Ben Shapiro. And she said, you had Ben Shapiro on the show? Isn't he like a terrible person? And I said, you know, and she's 15. And I said, let's watch some Ben Shapiro clips. Let's look at the transcript and the words. Let's take apart the words and figure out what his position is. And if we agree or disagree with it, and do some research on that particular issue. Because what I find is, and she's not allowed on social media, but her friends are all on TikTok. They're all on Instagram. They're all on YouTube. And at school, they just get programmed about Gaza, about trans issues, about J.K. Rowling's, you know, from Harry Potter is transphobic, when all she's really saying is like, maybe wait till kids are adults before they get trans surgery, like pretty middle of the road stuff. And you have to, as a parent, really engage them in first principle thinking. And let's actually, before we buy into, you know, the character assassination or putting people into a box, let's look at the actual words that they said and debate their position. And that's what's not happening in school. So I think Chamath's exactly right. We've got these like woke parents who are lost. Maybe they're on SSRIs their whole lives. And then they got kids. They put them on anxiety medicine and SSRIs. And it's a toxic soup combined with the media, combined with social media. And you really have to go very basic and look at the facts. And I'm using all of this chaos in the world as a way to just educate my daughters.
By the way, if I could give a message to Mo Khan, I don't know if this kid is smart or not. This moment, he's clearly an absolute moron. But if he doesn't learn how to change his mind, these shitty ideas will make sure that he lives a life of complete and total mediocrity. And the reason is because if he tries to actually exceed in society, he will be put to the test of being a flexible, open-minded person that can actually be constructive. And if he does not do that, he will not economically succeed. He will not socially succeed. He will be in a, you know, structure that in and of itself is going to be a prison that's going to constrict this kid. And I would tell this kid, wake up and learn how to actually move past these very brittle, idiotic thoughts, and then set an example for how you can actually think through these things thoughtfully, because then maybe you can be successful and teach other people, and then maybe other people will then mimic that. But right now, you are destined for a fundamental path of just being average and less than average.
Mm-hmm. Well said. This July, there is a global summit of BRICS nations in Rio de Janeiro. The bloc of emerging superpowers, including China, Russia, India, and Iran, are meeting with the goal of displacing the U.S. dollar as the global currency. They're calling this the Rio Reset, as BRICS nations push forward with their plans. Some worry global demand for U.S. dollars will decrease, bringing down the value of the dollars in your savings. While this transition won't happen overnight, the Rio Reset could mark a pivotal moment. So learn if diversifying your savings into gold is right for you. Birch Gold Group can help you move your hard-earned savings into a tax-sheltered IRA in precious metals. Claim your free info kit on gold by texting MK to the number 989898. With an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau and tens of thousands of happy customers, let Birch Gold arm you with a free, no-obligation info kit on owning gold before July and the Rio Reset. Text MK to 989898 today. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.